It'd be clever if it wasn't so diabolical, I think.
We're the Armed Attorneys. Today we're talking about the gun registry that the ATF is building. But before we begin, if you find this type of content helpful or you want to stay abreast of this kind of developing news story, make sure to subscribe. But to kick off this conversation, Emily, what is going on?
Well, the ATF has admitted to Congress that they have created this book of firearm and firearm owner registration, essentially. And they've done so by taking records from out-of-business FFL dealers, compiling them. But they've got something like, I think, 920 million gun owners or gun transactions in this log. It's huge, and, you know, frankly, very problematic for lots of reasons. But what else do we know about this?
So this is bad in and of itself, but that 920 million, you know, it's larger than that. That number isn't going to stop there because the Biden administration has said they want to crack down on FFLs, non-compliant FFLs that maybe make a mistake here or there. They want to enact a zero tolerance policy.
Yeah, first offenders, no forgiveness.
And essentially, what they would do is they would drive FFLs out of business, and then, oops, now that you're out of business, you have to turn these records over to the ATF. Therefore, that would expand the current database that they're working on.
Yeah. It'd be clever if it wasn't so diabolical, I think.
And, you know, and I understand there may be a legitimate law enforcement purpose for tracing firearms that show up at crime scenes. And we get that. Except for it's in contradiction of federal law about building a firearms database.
Right. The Firearm Owners Protection Act actually put this into place. And we know for certain from federal law that the federal government is not to maintain a general gun registry, which is essentially what the ATF is doing here.
Yes.
So, I mean, it's really, you know, and again, any protestation by the ATF that they needed to conduct firearm tracing is really kind of nonsense, particularly in the wake of this federal law that exists, because they were tracing firearms anyway. It's just more difficult for them.
Right. And so, you know, out of 18 USC 926A3, we have this law saying, hey, you know, no agent or no organism of the federal government can create this gun registration, and it carves out NFA items. And so they have that registration, and we know the NFA has that registry. But for general firearms, they shouldn't be able to have this database of owners, transfers, and who possesses what, essentially. But it's a solution in search of a problem, because we have a violent crime problem, and it's not a gun problem. This matters at the end of the day because the government can't infringe on our Second Amendment rights without a registry.
Yeah, a registry is the best first step to really intensive gun control.
Because, I mean, otherwise, who is the federal government supposed to tax if they don't know who has a gun? Who are they going to penalize for not purchasing insurance if they don't know who has, you know, a firearm? Or who are they going to make jump through a whole bunch of hoops to conduct a transfer if they don't know who has firearms in the first place?
Right. And well, and scariest of all is when they come knocking on your door, how do they know what to take from you if they don't know what you already own? So this is a, you know, pretty serious matter that all responsible gun owners need to monitor. I think the most important thing here is to talk to your representatives about holding the ATF accountable for breaking federal law, because that appears to be the situation in this case. But we hope you enjoyed this discussion. If you did, consider subscribing, hitting that like button, and help us fight the anti-2A algorithm by sharing this video. And please continue to question and comment below. Until next time, we're the Armed Attorneys.